The sands of global power are shifting. The unipolar moment dominated by the United States is fading. A new era of multipolarity is dawning with profound implications for the international order. Amidst this dynamic flux, Europe finds itself at a crossroads. The old certainties are crumbling and new alliances are being forged. For decades, the transatlantic relationship formed the bedrock of European security and foreign policy. However, recent years have witnessed a growing sense of unease within European capitals. The United States, under successive administrations, has appeared increasingly inward-looking, questioning its global commitments and challenging the liberal international order it helped create. Meanwhile, a resurgent China has emerged as a global power, its economic and political clout growing at an unprecedented pace. China's Belt and Road Initiative, a trillion-dollar infrastructure project spanning continents, has extended its influence across Eurasia and beyond. This assertive posture has raised concerns in Western capitals, but it has also presented opportunities for economic cooperation and engagement. Europe, therefore, faces a strategic dilemma. Should it remain anchored to a seemingly unpredictable and unreliable United States, or should it chart a more independent course, forging closer ties with China despite the inherent risks and challenges? To understand the current dynamics shaping the Euro-China relationship, it is essential to delve into its historical context. Formal diplomatic relations between the European community, the precursor to the European Union, and China were established in 1975. The early years were marked by cautious engagement, with trade and economic cooperation gradually expanding. The Tiananmen Square protests of 1989 cast a long shadow over the relationship. The European community, along with other Western powers, imposed sanctions on China, citing human rights concerns. However, these sanctions were gradually lifted in the 1990s as economic ties resumed their upward trajectory. China's accession to the World Trade Organization in 2001 marked a turning point. It paved the way for deeper economic integration, with trade between the EU and China growing exponentially. China became a crucial market for European exports, particularly automobiles, luxury goods, and high-tech equipment. However, the relationship has not been without its challenges. Trade imbalances, intellectual property rights disputes, and concerns over China's human rights record have been persistent points of contention. Despite these differences, both sides have sought to maintain a dialogue and manage their disagreements through diplomacy and engagement. The EU-China relationship is underpinned by a complex web of agreements and treaties that govern trade, investment, and cooperation in various sectors. One of the most significant milestones was the signing of the EU-China Comprehensive Agreement on Investment in December 2020. The CII aims to create a more level playing field for European companies operating in China. It includes provisions on market access, state-owned enterprises, and sustainable development. However, the agreement has faced criticism from human rights groups and some European lawmakers who argue that it does not go far enough in addressing China's human rights record. Beyond the CII, the EU and China have also signed agreements on cooperation in areas such as climate change, energy, and science and technology. China's Belt and Road Initiative has also emerged as a significant area of cooperation, with several European countries signing memorandums of understanding to participate in infrastructure projects. The economic ties between the EU and China are substantial. China is the EU's second largest trading partner after the United States, while the EU is China's largest trading partner. In 2022, bilateral trade between the two economies reached a record high, exceeding €850 billion. Europe's growing engagement with China is driven by a complex interplay of economic, strategic, and political factors. On the economic front, China represents a vast and growing market for European goods and services. As the global economy grapples with uncertainty, China's continued growth presents a compelling opportunity for European businesses. Energy security is another key driver. Europe is heavily reliant on Russia for its energy needs, a dependence that has become increasingly untenable in light of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. China, with its vast reserves of oil and gas, as well as its investments in renewable energy, presents a potential alternative source of energy supply. The UK's decision to leave the European Union has also contributed to Europe's strategic pivot towards China. Brexit has left a void in the EU's global influence, and some European policymakers see closer ties with China as a way to counterbalance the UK's departure and maintain Europe's global standing. Finally, Europe's growing engagement with China is also part of a broader quest for strategic autonomy. The EU is seeking to reduce its reliance on the United States and assert itself as a more independent actor on the global stage. Closer ties with China, in this context, are seen as a way to diversify Europe's strategic partnerships and enhance its leverage in international affairs.